Golan-globus Theater. Globites. Wow. So much to do today, so much to cover, but what's wrong with taking the back streets? You never know if you don't go. You never shine if you don't glow. Beautiful words from a beautiful man. I think he's a trumper. Don't follow that guy. Anyways, Murray, we talked last week about how Dune was so inspiring. Lynch did such a good job of wanting to bring you into the world of Dune. I spent all of last Sunday talking about Dune with my good buddy Dave, and he brought up one thing. Dennis Villanueva said, I'm not taking anything from David Lynch's Dune. I'm reading the book, and I'm doing it to the book. And you know what he fucked up? He stole it straight out of Lynch's Dune. Baron Harkonnen, I can't remember how to pronounce his name. Harkonnen, that's it. He's not supposed to float. All his, he has special, machinery to help him walk because he's so fat that his weight would buckle his knees. So he walks, but there's these contraptions that help him not... You should be jumping in on this, Murray. What the fuck's wrong with you? You're just staring out into space. Are you okay?
I didn't want to talk about this. I like to keep our off the mic stuff private, but I think I was the victim of an assassination attempt this week, Griff. How I uncovered Big Sandwich's plot through Dune?
Right.
That Subway is trying to take over the world by stopping Quiznos.
Yes, I remember this.
And everybody's talking about it. Everyone's like, why aren't you doing Dune? Fuck this Villanueva guy.
Yeah.
You guys get what Frank Herbert was talking about.
I was getting people were sending me pictures of what used to be Quiznos. You can tell the faded sign is there, and it's being replaced with hand drawn Subway signs. It's
look. This is Tuesday night. I'm getting ready for bed. I'm having my normal Quiznos sub right before bed.
Right.
Because nothing settles the stomach better than a nice Quiznos Italian sub.
Italian, okay.
This night it was Italian.
It was Italian.
So I'm just finishing it off, and I'm ready to sleep the sleep of the pure and innocent.
The kings.
Yes.
The kings of investigative journalist podcast.
I just start feeling this pain in my stomach, and then it was just I was like, I felt like I was going to puke, and it was like fucking food poisoning. And I'm like, there's no way I can get food poisoning from Quiznos. It's the perfect sandwich.
Yeah.
So I think they sent a Hunter Seeker full of tainted mayo, and it just squirted it on my sandwich when I wasn't looking.
Wait, is there mayo on an Italian sandwich?
I think there is.
I don't think there is, sir.
I think there is.
Okay.
There was on mine. Maybe I should have noticed it.
You probably should have noticed.
But I felt, there's no worse feeling than feeling like you got to throw up.
Yeah.
And there's no better feeling than throwing up right
yes.
after you. I understand why women are bulimic, because you feel that real. I'm just saying. I'm not condoning it. I'm understanding it.
Yeah.
And so, I was like, I finally threw up. Barely, it was a word. I threw up in the sink, dude, because I couldn't even make it to the toilet.
Oh, God.
Fortunately, it wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
Most of it came out the other end.
Oh, boy.
But, and I'm like, they're trying to kill me, because it goes deeper than just, it's not just Subway, Griff. It's a Big Sandwich. It's Jimmy John's. It's Firehouse. It's Jersey Mike's.
What?
It's even Detroit's own Tubbies. They're involved.
Submarines?
They all want to shut down Quiznos.
Holy shit.
But I survived. I drank some of the water of life. Turns out it's mixed berry Powerade.
Oh, shit. No, really?
Yeah. I'm the first man ever survived. Maybe I'm the Quiznos Duke de Hazzard. Maybe I am. I'm just saying.
You should consult.
I'm humble, but I'm saying maybe I am the savior of the world.
You should consult your local mentat.
I do. I need to. Who's my local mentat?
I don't know. It's up to you and your doctor. That's a HIPAA violation for me to ask you. Who do we know
has giant eyebrows?
Does Scott have big eyebrows? He's got big chops.
No. Oh, Dennis. Dennis would be.
Dennis, there we go.
Because he eats the spice every fucking day.
Oh my God, he's got the spice all
over him.
So
I barely survived. You guys are lucky I'm even here tonight. And it was right. It was on the eve of us dropping the Dune things. It was too coincidental.
Too coincidental. Really?
Because they knew you would. If I died, you would be so distraught. You would not put that up,
I would put up 3 hours of me sobbing.
and that would do nothing to stop them. That wouldn't have gotten the message out. But we got the message out. Now you guys get it.
Yeah. So be careful when you go to a Subway. Make sure.
Don't go to a Subway.
Excuse me. When you go to a Quiznos, just make
If
sure
you can find one.
Yeah, if you make sure.
I don't know where even one's at. I don't know where I got mine. Maybe that's why I got tainted. Because I just assumed it's Quiznos wrapper, and I just assumed it was Quiznos.
Murray, we got to be honest here. You're getting older. You need to stop going out at night because the Quiznos you're looking for aren't there anymore. So you probably just let intuition take over. You're like, oh, that's a Quiznos. You probably smelled the Grillies kind of smell and smell.
Yeah.
That's all right, because Murray, I think you're happier today because
I'm alive.
We're recording on a Sunday, and a miracle has happened
that I missed.
That you missed because you were too crumbly about the same old Lions.
Right.
The Lions won their
Ethan
first.
Crumbly. Is that the name of that kid that shot up the school?
Yeah. Oh no! God damn it! That was. How did I fucking do that? Oh God. We had
not so fun fact. I live like 15 minutes away from where that school shooting happened.
That's fucking crazy, man.
And what blew my mind about it was how big that fucking high school is. Oxford is a little podunk town.
Yes, it is.
And it's huge fucking high school. They must have it's all it is. I'm like fucking Jon Snow. I live right on the edge of civilization. You go north of me, it's all podunk towns.
Yes. Kid Rock.
It's Appalachia, basically.
Kid Rock.
Northern Appalachia.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was weird.
I hear that kid was heavily inspired by Kid Rock's new song.
The one about snowflakes or something like that?
Yeah, that's
well,
ain't no one gonna tell me how to live my life.
If I was him, that would be my defense.
Yeah. They both look like the parents and the kid look like podunk people, too.
Yeah, because they are.
Yeah.
Because they live in Oxford.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Did you hear they tried to flee to Canada?
I heard they were trying to flee, yeah.
They
were bailing on their kid.
They bailed on their kid. They tried to go to Canada, and they were denied because
COVID didn't have vaccines?
They didn't have vaccines. So they almost got out of the country.
The least perfect crime.
Yeah, they almost got out of the country, but because they decided not to get vaccinated, they got turned around.
There you go.
So, exciting day. Lions win. We got horrible people in Michigan doing some horrible things. Big Run Hide Fight fans, apparently. Wait, that wouldn't be. That's the opposite. Murray, I got more good news. Well, I won $30 damn football. Just keep it coming in.
Really? What is it because of what's that guy's name? JB Smooth, whatever, his commercials?
I don't go to that one. I go to Greektown because it's our local one. Not that I have to go there, but I'm doing good. My only fuck up yesterday was betting against Nick Saban. Never bet against Nick Saban.
I have a prediction. One of these days I'm going to come here and Griff's will have pawned all our equipment because he's addicted to gambling. This isn't a good sign. I don't like this. I don't like you gambling.
Look, $15.
That's where it starts.
On 2 games. Yeah.
And then you got a system.
And
then your system. And then you're in front of me at the gas station buying lottery tickets. And I want to get my
I'm going to be schlocking off like meatballs from Quiznos or something. Be like, no, this is the good stuff. It's got the spice in it. No, I won $30 today. These are low stakes. These are the penny machines that I'm playing. It just makes it fun to watch. Murray, Friday, I saw what people like to argue is the greatest action Christmas movie of all time on the big screen.
Die Hard.
Saw Die Hard. Bruce Willis is insufferable in that movie, but at least he's blue collar. And all the white collar, like FBI, police officers, they all fucking suck.
Police guys aren't white collar. They literally have blue collars.
I'm saying like the suits.
Oh.
You know, the guys who would come in and try to lead the thing.
Yeah.
So,
you know what they're doing.
That was amusing. You had the Coke Fiend. That guy was great. And then, of course, you have the most beautiful man in the world. I don't know if I've ever seen him on the big screen. No, Bruce Willis. Fuck that. Al Young.
That's right. He's one of the goons.
Holy shit. He got a round of applause.
He gets, what's he get, like a Snickers or something?
When he starts going, the candy bar actually transforms because he's got the Drago hand skills. So he's eating a crunch and then they cut away and back to him and now he's got a whatchamacallit. I was like, I thought he was Billy Drago because of his sleight of hand abilities.
Maybe he just ate 2 candy bars at once. He had one in each hand.
I didn't see a single whatchamacallit in that fucking register.
Okay.
So, Al Young, great fucking movie.
That ruined the movie for me. Fuck that movie. I liked it, but not anymore.
Why? Because he ate a whatchamacallit?
No continuity.
Oh, no continuity. No. Fuck it. I don't want to argue about
I
Alion.
didn't know that until you pointed it out, so I'm blaming you.
I want to talk about today's
Speaking
movie.
of no continuity.
Yes.
New York Ninja. You guys been waiting with bated breath since I let you know about it a couple months ago. I told you it's on our radar. We're going to do it. And now we're going to do it today. The story behind New York Ninja is John Liu, the star writer and director of this movie. He was in a lot of like the classic Shaw Brother type, kung fu movies, Hong Kong movies. And he wanted to break into America.
Yeah.
So I said, this is my chance. I'm going to write this movie. I'm going to set it in New York, obviously, New York Ninja.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take America by storm. Around the same time Jackie Chan first tried to get into American markets. Because he was in Cannonball Run.
Okay.
And it failed. It took probably 15 more years for Jackie Chan to finally break it.
Did that have multiple names? New York Cop or something? I thought he had another one. Maybe it was like his first big one. I've been seeing it pop up here and there for some reason.
Anyway, so he films this movie, and then somewhere along the lines, like the company backing it goes out of business or whatever. Movie never gets finished. It's just raw footage. There's no, nothing got edited. It's like 4 hours of just raw footage. And I guess he was disheartened. He went back to Hong Kong. Now, apparently, the people that put this DVD out,
Vinegar Syndrome,
were I guess most famous for putting out 70s porn. That seems to be their big,
really,
yeah,
and of course our Blu-ray movies,
and much too expensive, by the way. The DVDs are too expensive.
Yeah, they are. But when
they have great packaging, I'll give them that.
Yeah, I mean,
but they need to lower the price.
When someone's releasing a Blu-ray of one of the greatest movies of all time, you spend the premium price.
And I did it for this one. So don't say we don't do anything for you, because I spent the premium price to get New York Ninja.
Well, you know what else they put out?
I know. Get to heaven.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, so the company goes out of business, and then like years later, I forgot to say, John Liu is disheartened. They tried to get a hold of him to like work with us, like, because nobody has a script or anything, because the sound got lost in the process. I don't know if it deteriorates or whatever, but this movie had no sound.
Yeah. So
they wanted to like get in touch with him and put the movie together, and he's living in Vietnam right now in like a hut somewhere way out in the boonies. And it was like they had like a go-between. Like somebody's like, I know John Liu and I can get a hold of him. And then he's like months later, he's like, no, he wants nothing to do with it.
That's incredible, man.
He wants nothing to do with it.
It's such a bummer. Like this movie, just based on what scenes we get to see and everything. Obviously, we have modern stuff happening here with the audio being done, which I love because it seemed like they got vintage equipment to do it. It doesn't sound super digital. It sounds like they filmed, they did the audio later in like, the 80s or something. Like it didn't sound super high tech and all that. So I really like that. It seemed like John shot this guerrilla style on the streets of New York.
I would believe so, yeah.
There's so many cool, I really like that. Seeing all the street shots and everything, it seems like everything's moving around them.
You can
very
tell
busy.
it's 84 because you see them working on Statue of Liberty for the 100th anniversary, which was in 86.
Oh,
you see
yeah.
You see all the scaffolding around it.
Right.
Much like in Remo Williams, you saw the scaffolding
That's
around
right.
it.
Oh, man.
So, this isn't a bait and switch. It really did. It filmed at this time.
And it helps that in 84 in New York in that time, Murray, of course, has the population just churning up in his brain
New York
right now.
had, I think, and remember, New York's the biggest city in America. It had probably 100,000 people in it.
Oh, 100,000?
In 84, yeah.
Okay.
But so, cut to 35 years later, Vinegar Syndrome buys like the movie, this company's movies that they all had. They didn't even know this. Obviously, they didn't know this movie existed. It never came out. It was just raw footage. So one of the guys going through it, it's like, this looks fucking amazing. He's just like looking at the negatives or whatever, and he's just like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then he like investigates, and he finds out, it was just this movie that never got released. And he's like, I have to release this fucking movie. It looks too fucking great. And I want to give kudos to these guys, because the instinct nowadays is like, these movies were goofy, so we're going to goof on them. We're going to do Kung Pao. That's what we're going to do.
I immediately, when I first started watching this, I'm like, thank God this didn't fall in the hands. And look, I love these people, but I'm so glad, like, as far as I know, nobody's did, like, the audio and, put the script together, essentially. Because I immediately was like, I could just imagine a Patton Oswalt or the new people who are doing the MST3K. I'm surprised they didn't get their hand on it, and they would have made it. They would have made it a big sloppy joke instead of like these people who try to keep it. Like they didn't go as ridiculous as they go in the 80s with some of the slurs they would throw around, but it's like they did a really good job of keeping it a little cleaner without making it feel like a big spoof.
Yeah, so the guy who I guess technically directed it, he went to like the Vinegar Syndrome people and says, I think we got something here. Can you give me some money? And they gave him a little bit of money to finish it. So he like went through it. So like I said, there's no fucking audio. There's no script. So he has no idea what he's seeing. And obviously it wasn't, I'm sure it wasn't shot in order. So you're just seeing scenes. And he's like, he watched it. He picked out the scenes. I think there's like 4 hours worth of footage. He made it a perfect 90-minute movie. He knows
what to do. This guy listens.
And he's just like, okay, I'm just going to pick the best scenes. I'm going to try to create. He wrote his own script around this.
Yeah.
And he was like, I could have like hired a lip reader, but
I was just going to ask you that.
And he's just like, no, because he's like, if he doesn't know the story, it's not going to make sense still. Because
it would have been interesting for just like a few scenes if he did it, but
I think they did. There's some that look like they are saying what they're.
Yeah, no, it's like some of them you can kind of tell what they were saying. What's really interesting for me was like all the scenes where the backs are turned when you can't see any mouth, and they're just like they're trying to piece it together. Because there's like a scene when Pluto is on the phone, and it's like you don't know what he's saying. You're not seeing his mouth. You're just seeing the outside of a phone booth.
You're seeing the people listening to it.
Yeah, so you're just like, I like that.
So he wrote his own script, put it together, 90 minutes. He hired a bunch of people from classic movies we talk about to do the voices of the characters. Don the Dragon Wilson does John Liu's character, which we've never done at Don the Dragon. We need to delve into his world.
We need to do a whole month of like Shaw or martial arts or something.
And Cynthia Rothrock's a character.
Was
it.
she?
And fucking Too Sweet, Leon Isaac Kennedy, the Midnight Thud, he's in it.
Oh, nice.
Not the Midnight Thud, but Too Sweet.
Oh, okay.
Our man Michael Berryman, which if you're a fan of our show, you know the story our buddy Mike had with Michael Berryman in a bathroom.
Whoop, whoop.
If not, you got to go check out. I think it was in our first Schlocktober. I don't remember what episode it was.
Yeah, that's tough.
Maybe Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Maybe Howling 2.
It's tough because we had Mike on quite a few times. Yeah. Or is that either way? It's on one of those Mike episodes.
Yeah, Mike and Michael Berryman. It's a story for the ages.
It's a story for the ages.
So they did everything right because the guys were like, look, we could goof on it, or we could make the movie they wanted to make, the best version of the movie that we could come up with.
Right.
And I think they did it. I'm giving it up to them.
This movie is one of those movies that I think anybody would enjoy. I think it's a very fun movie, and I think knowing just that little bit of history will make it even more entertaining.
Right.
But
I wouldn't put it on the level of a Samurai Cop or a Getevin, but it's in that realm.
It's got so much good shit going for it. I mean, we got to get.
I would have loved to have seen the original John Liu version.
Yeah, 100%. I would have liked to see if there was more Pluto Man in his shit because every time he was on screen, that guy was killing it.
Right.
So I mean, there's obviously a lot we'll get into. You would think this movie's going to go fast because how it's spaced out, but I think we're just going to end up getting caught up talking about some of the shit.
I did 4 pages of notes on this movie.
Holy shit.
I did more than fucking Dune, which was 2.5 hours.
Because everything stands out in this movie.
Right, and we're going to point it out as we go through. This might be a catheter episode, guys. So get them out, clean it up, insert. All right, we're going to go right to the trailer. Yep. So the question is, can you make a 1980-style action movie in 2021? Find out on the other side of this trailer.
Abductions of young women are still being reported. Another woman with mysterious radiation burns has been discovered.
We're gonna have a baby.
Oh my God.
I can't believe that John's wife was murdered.
You have to try and pull yourself together.
This city owes me
Well, what's that?
justice. Why won't anyone do anything?
We are strong on crime, and together we have the power.
This is a big city. We're doing what we can.
Dude, what happened? Is he okay? What?
shit.
Tell the others I'm coming for them.
I need you to help me.
I would, but I want them dead.
Crime has remained at an all-time low thanks to ninja fever.
We're going live with this.
These men murdered her because of what she saw. It's linked to these abductions.
There's something weighing us down. It's that damn ninja.
New York Ninja's a real hero.
New York, 1984. Crime is at an all-time high. Gangs of drugged-out punks roam the streets preying on the innocent. A rash of kidnappings involving young women has gripped the city with fear. The citizens of New York are fed up. The city needs hope.
Whew. There's a little bit more of that crawl and everything, but I just got the good chunk of it there. It's beautiful. We're getting really set up here for some nice 90-minute action film.
It's that classic Warriors era New York where there's graffiti on every fucking surface.
Everything. And again, nothing is staged here. It's
No.
guerrilla shot.
Yeah.
So they're just using all the backdrops that they could, and it works out great.
I was waiting to see Trash in the background, just riding his motorcycle. But
Yes, that would have been
Laser
great.
disc. Well, I forgot to point out, they did send us a laser disc. They know we will only review laser discs. I said, I don't care about your fucking Blu-ray. Laser disc, please.
Vinegar and Syndrome, they know us. They
By the way,
have
when are we
going
going to start? Did you know our buddy Joe Corey gets like screeners? When are we getting screeners for the movies we do? Because you know damn well after this episode comes out, they're going to sell out of this fucking movie.
Well, we probably have to stop telling them they charge too much, you know?
Well, they do. That's why they need to give it to us for free.
Anyways, John comes up, and he's got a great gift, and I'm going to assure you his wife is not going to ask him how much it cost. She's going to accept it.
John, played by John the
Voice.
I fucked up. It's Don the Dragon Wilson. I put John in the notes. Don the Dragon Wilson. His wife, Nita, played by porn star Ginger Lynn Allen, who... fun fact about her, and I'll put the term allegedly, even though it's true. She has a kid. I know it's like I know from a friend of a friend. She has a kid with Charlie Sheen that Martin Sheen paid for. Like, do not let anybody know he's got a kid with a porn star.
Really?
I mean, the kid's probably like 30 now. This is like back in the fucking like 80s or 90s.
Right.
But yeah, so there's a love child. Charlie Sheen has a love child out there.
And so, John, I don't know if this is part of his coming to America or something. He doesn't understand what to buy a woman, so he gets her a wrestling belt.
Yeah, it looked like a little wrestling belt.
It's a little wrestling belt. It was like a woman's wrestling belt.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the giant one. It's just smaller, and you know, you wear it on, over a skirt or something.
But she loves it because they're in love. They're married, Griff.
Yeah.
He wants a green card. No. He and I just say the facials on John Liu, they're fucking amazing. He's so excited. We don't even need audio. Like, it's could have been a silent movie because of the expressiveness of his face.
Right. And I was going to bring this up at the top, but, this is a good place to bring it up, too. It's like he already knows what his wife's big secret's about because she's like, oh, I got a great gift for you. I can't wait to tell you. And then they kiss, and they're like, we got to go back to business?
They're meeting on their lunch hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they both part ways, and she turns him around. I love you. And he's like, I love you. And he reaches out, and then she's like, I can't wait any longer. I'm pregnant.
What? And then the greatest facials you've ever seen.
So wonderful.
That's great.
That is so great. It was this facials, the expressions, everything. And I'm pretty sure he already knew what was happening because if you look back, he is wearing dad clothes already. He's got a dad sweater on. He's got his dad jeans on, and he's got New Balances on. Yeah. He knew what this news was going to be.
Right.
All right? And I'm going to tell you now, when things happen, suddenly his wardrobe changes.
I thought it just stays white through the whole...
No, it changes.
So then they go, well, we got to get back to work, but, I'll see you later on. We're going to celebrate.
Yep.
And they part ways. And then Nita's getting ready to go on the subway.
If this was the Marvel cut, you would follow her to her office where she is the top CEO of a giant corporation. Right. And Nina gets a little bit shorter. Or Nita. She gets a little bit shorter of a story arc here.
Yeah, well, she passes by a guy named Cufflinks. We got to point out, all the goons in this movie are superb.
110% effort went into this.
Imagine the fucking Village People gang from Revenge of the Ninja times 100.
Oh my god. This is I believe they call it Stone Soup, and everybody brings something to the party. That's what every one of these extras did. They all brought some amazing, unique element to this movie.
Because like we were saying, this is guerrilla style. See, they probably didn't even get paid to be in this movie.
Right.
So they were probably like, John Lewis was like, look, we don't have wardrobe, obviously. Go home, create your character, just go crazy. And they fucking did, and it's fucking amazing.
Off the top of your head, can you think of your favorite? There's a standout for me. The guy who had the beanie hat on pulled all the way down, and then he cut eye holes.
Yeah, he was like Dumb Donald from Fat Albert.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So fucking amazing.
Well, then there was like the guy who was the Invisible Man. He had like gauze around his face and sunglasses.
Yes.
And then there was a guy that had the fucking, I don't know what it's called, but it's like the kendo stick version of fencing, the mask.
Yes. That was like a samurai mask. Oh, no, that was the kendo mask. You're right.
Yeah.
He had like the headdress and everything.
Yeah, like the cage kind of the
and
front.
it had the I know exactly what you're
There's just
talking about.
so many. And I mean, it's like,
it's too hard, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody, literally. The dude wearing the swim goggles.
Yeah.
And then the guy with ski goggles.
That guy just came off the Devo set. You know, he's one of the spuds.
I mean, everybody's just fucking great. You're going to stare at the background of this movie. You don't need to watch the movie to stare at the background character.
It's so cool because you're not just looking at what's on screen. There's all the backgrounds. There's all the New York shots. There's all the gorilla. It's so fucking cool.
So, this character, Cufflinks, who's the main goon, who procures these women, because like we said in the opening crawl, women are being kidnapped.
Yes.
And he's got like an 8x10, like he's like apparently whoever wants these women, it's specific types. Like, I want this, this, and this.
So you're saying the connection to Studs goes back to the 80s.
Yeah.
So they were kidnapped.
Well,
I guess it's the opposite where they were capturing women, but
right. So he's like just looking at this 8x10, and then Nita walks by. And then we see like these two guys struggling with a woman. Like, I think they're coming out of like the subway.
They're coming out of the subway,
and she notices it. You know, this movie is predictive of the future. You notice almost everybody would rather film people being abused than help at all.
100%.
Or call for help.
There's multiple
people.
That's
the theme of the movie.
And this is back in the day when you don't have a camera in your pocket. There just happened to be cameramen driving around. And they were like, "Hey, is that a mugging over there? I think that woman's a what."
Film it.
Oh, film it. Yeah.
Don't intervene.
No.
Film it. You know, it's almost like this movie was made for 2021.
For real.
So she, brave woman that she is, even though she's a tough-talking business lady, she takes no guff from men.
Yep.
She's like, excuse me, I think that woman would like to be let go.
I believe I can see struggle in her eyes, and she would like to run away. I think you should let her go.
And then Cufflinks, who's got the classic, like, mafia guy, hey, get out of here, lady.
Yep.
And then he does some amazing hand acting with the knife.
So good. So good. And he runs his knife across her neck, slits her throat, and then Nita does an amazing job. She's rolling down the staircase.
Everybody's like acting at 100%.
And I love this shot too because they shot it through the rails of the staircase, so you're watching her just descend down the stairs.
There's some great shots in this movie.
100%. Like, this is such a fascinating watch. Right. And so yeah, she's rolling down the stairs, and then like she gets down there, and she has like one last gasp, and she opens her hand, and you know there's blood all over, but she has a cufflink in her hand.
Well, no. Then he does these like moves.
No, it's not over yet. Yeah.
He pulls out a knife and then does.
Oh wait, there's more.
And then does like a kata with the knife, like his hand move, straight out of Billy Drago's School of Hand Acting.
Everybody had to watch Billy Drago before acting in this movie.
And this throws a knife at her, hits her in the heart, and we get a nice like bumper sticker that says "I love New York" right next to her dying body.
Ugh.
And then we just fade away.
So, of course, we're going to have to, we know John's going to be devastated by the news, and we hear it through some of his friends, actually.
Well, his coworkers. We got
coworkers?
Yeah, these were the people that worked at because John is a sound guy for like a
That's
news.
what he does.
Yeah.
I never even once thought about what he did.
Well, you saw him. He was like right next to a cameraman just twisting knobs on a little box.
Oh,
yeah, he was a sound guy.
I did not realize that.
I think he had headphones on, too.
Did he have a little trucker's cap like the sound guys from Dune?
No.
The Atreides?
So we meet Randy and Jack. Randy is a television reporter that he covered. He does the sound for. Jack's her cameraman, and then we meet the boss. He never gets because we see a chopper land. The boss apparently flies exclusively in a chopper.
Let's call him JJ. He kind of gave me a JJ vibe,
like
a little bit,
like J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, sure.
And they meet up, and they're like, So they knew about what happened to Nita?
Yeah, they knew. They were like, we got to go comfort him. He's going to be having a hard time. I know where he's going to be. On his rooftop. Everyone's hanging out on rooftops in this movie.
Because they're going to celebrate. He's got the balloons. Very much loving New York because it's the balloon style of New York on them. They were hand like drawn with a marker.
Yep.
He's got I guess this happens sometimes. You don't have the fucking wrapping paper you need, so he's got birthday wrapping paper on a thing that's for her, like we're having a baby.
I was gonna say, like all the tablecloth and everything was the plastic party one for kids and all that. Not the greatest spread.
So he's been there for a couple hours. Like, where's Nina? She's like blowing me off. What's going on?
Oh,
here?
I thought he already knew because I thought he was sobbing here.
No, I thought Randy comes in and tells him, doesn't he?
Oh, I thought he already knew because I just remember him sobbing. But anyways, let's go ahead. Just push forward.
He might. Well, all I know is you might be right. I think he did know because he's like, oh my god, the facials from John Liu. He's just like anguish, and then he gets up and then just fucking chop kicks the fucking table in half.
Yeah, this happens. So here's what I remember happening, and let's see if you want to go along with this. I remember him staring at photos of her, and then he starts shrieking out, "Why?"
Well, he was going to give her a photo of them together. He opened the fucking present.
Oh, Randy.
No, he was going to give Nita a picture of
okay.
himself and her.
Because I know Randy comes in and sees him in distress, and that's when she's like, hey, I mean, now that your wife's out of the picture, we can fuck. And she's got this hair that's creeping me out.
Yeah, it was a wig. And
it was a wig,
and they
okay.
made her wear the wig because she had dark hair, and the guy was like, "No, you have to have blonde hair."
Okay.
So,
It looked really weird.
It was Samurai Cop level bad.
Yes, it was. And so she makes it very clear that she's here for him. She grabs some of his cakes, grabs a little bit of the cock too. And
before that, that's when he destroys everything. So he destroys everything, and then she walks in because he's just like,
he did.
He's in the fertile position at this time.
Oh, he's in the fertile
crying,
position. Oh.
And then she comes to comfort him because he's destroyed everything.
Okay. That kick to the table was impressive.
Yeah.
He dropped the
Well, he did in
hammer
slow
on it.
motion, so yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, why? Almost like, no! They Stingray callback. They should have had him do the voice.
Dude, I was getting a little slighter, but Rat Tail, he kind of had the Stingray look for me, but not quite enough. He's too small.
Like you said, she's like ready to move in because John's a catch, man.
He's got great hair.
He's got amazing
Rockstar hair.
He's got
Rockstar
amazing
hair.
hair. We were talking about Kyle MacLachlan's last week. This might be better.
I wouldn't say that, but it's still good.
All right, Griff doesn't like Asian people's hair. And then so she moves in, and he's in another
distraught.
world.
Yeah, he's too
so she's like, I'm here if you need me.
Yeah, you can move into my apartment. I'm gonna move into the attic of my apartment.
And then he grabs a glass from that photo he broke and starts grinding them in his fists.
He's got a last letter from Nita there, and it's like, "Hey, honey boo, I love you."
Yeah, that was all it was. Was like, he had like a little card. It's like, I love you.
That would have been really hard because, I mean, they had a makeup, but they decided to keep it very simple.
And then they revealed he was going to give her some samurai swords for a pregnancy.
Maybe she was
baby
giving
shower.
up
Is
to
that
him?
what it's called? Baby shower. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's going to give her some samurai swords.
So he pulls.
Excuse me, katanas.
He pulls them out and he starts cutting his hand on the one.
No, he just holds them up.
That's later. He cuts his hand.
And then we just cut away, and we're like, "Oh my god, this is the worst."
All right, and so now we're in like Trash's domain. We're by the water, by the river, and we just got some dirt trails and everything.
Guy playing drums on a fucking plastic. There's a drum kit. The stairs is playing the drum.
God, that's such a fun. I missed that scene. And so we just got a limo doing donuts out there.
Yeah, I don't know why. The guy's like, "Can you do donuts?" Yeah, do them.
He's just fun.
And then he hits his mark. He pulls it up. It's like a Cadillac limousine.
Yeah.
And then this is where we see our main villain, the plutonium killer. We don't know he's a killer right now. We just know he's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Because he's wearing some. It's like the fucking shades that Bono wore on the one of the tours. If only we had Pigeon with us right now. He could tell me exact tour because they're like completely covers it. They're like
welder's glasses.
Welder's glasses, exactly.
Yeah, because they have the side blockers on there and everything to keep.
And this guy, this actor, looks so much like another favorite Shades wearing actor we like, Shades from Hard Ticket to Hawaii. I had to look it up. I was like, is that fucking Shades?
Just older.
Yes, and darker hair. Darker. Shades is
yeah.
blonde. No, it's not. This is amazingly separated at birth guy.
Right.
And he's loading it. He's got this little weapon. It's basically a ballpoint pen with a clicker. You click it out. But he MacGyvered it.
Yes, he did.
And now it can shoot little needles of poison.
Incredible speed here. This is crazy. And he's deadly accurate. And they do such a good job letting us know because a fly buzzes by and he pins it to the seat.
Right.
So we know this is a deadly weapon.
But not only is Plutonium Killer amazing, his driver, Rat Tail, might be even more amazing.
Oh, my God. These two. Dream team.
Guy, as his name tells you, he has a long-ass rat tail, which was I don't know why, but it was popular in the 80s at that time. I never had one, thank God. I was stupid. But he is in love. The only thing he loves more than his cane, because he has a cane with like a wolf's head like tip, and he rubs his face with it.
In this scene, we're looking into the to the limo. He's the driver, of course, and he is just rubbing up and down on each side. It's as if God fucking damn. It's like he's trying to shave his face with it. He's rubbing it all over. It's amazing.
There's so many great artistic choices from these people.
Every one of them. It's like they knew they weren't going to have dialogue,
Right.
So they were like, just fill it in with as much expressions as you can.
And then he does this thing, which is apparently his rat tail's trademark. He grabs his rat tail, pulls it tight, puts it in his mouth, and just bites on it.
Yeah. That's like the Jackie Chan movie, but Jackie Chan's was like thick. And so I forget which one that was. Was that Shanghai Noon? It might have been Shanghai Noon.
So, okay, we're just setting up our villains now. And then another car rolls up. And it's got some, goofy English dude in there.
He looks like a spy from, like, a 50s movie or something.
He looks like a geek.
He was a geek.
But he's classy geek because he's literally drinking a martini while driving.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, have you got the new ladies for me? I've got some more. He has some more 8x10. So obviously he's the guy that's wanting all these women.
Yes, okay, that makes sense.
So he's like, I have the more types I need. And he hands them off. And like fucking Plutonium Killer, he's just chill. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Really.
My clientele, they're willing, they're ready. We'll pay out the ass. We'll double whatever you want.
And he's like, I'll get them to you. By the way, Plutonium Killer, played by Michael Berryman, who we just talked about earlier. Don't share a bathroom with him. But still a talented guy because he's doing a great job with his voice. Like, I'll get your bodies, women, when I get to them.
He's making people wait. And that's good
and
shit.
The guy's like, okay. And then they just break off.
Yeah, Rat-Tail just drives off. So we're back to John. And he's visiting his wife's final resting place.
Yeah. Well, another thing that they never did in the 80s, but now they do everywhere now. If there's ever a car accident, you got to throw a fucking wreath there.
Yeah.
That's what a fucking gravesite's for, people. Don't do that. Stop that. But he's giving a little shrine to her there's a hobo pissing right next to him.
Well, of course, yeah.
And we see this little kid.
He's up on this ground level.
Little punk kid.
And he, they even did a good job with the kid because the kid, sound effects were terrifying me. Every time I hear these kid noises they work in there, I just shrivel. So he's just going about his day. La, 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 la. I like selling drugs. Whatever he was doing. He was selling something. He's up to no good.
Yeah.
And that's when some thugs grab him. And, you know what? They were underground. Because they push right by John and they go up above ground, but the kid gets away and runs right into Jerry Curl.
Yeah, Jerry, that's his name, Jerry Curl.
Yeah, sorry.
And he's got a Jerry Curl, as you would expect. And he's got some amazing look going on. He's got the fucking Road Warrior spike collar around his neck.
Mm-hmm.
Did he have a headband on? I think he had.
He had various accessories at different points. I think he had a big bee necklace or something.
And he's like, "Hey, kid, you owe us money." I promise, I'll get it to you. This kid, obviously, like Griff, is going to be in a few months. Desperate gambler. betting on the horses. He lost, and he had to get some money from Jerry.
I love this because I'm pretty sure it's this scene where Jerry Curl tells Kid, I know you kids running around here have money. I know you're loaded.
Right.
So I'm going to get you, and I'm going to get my money.
Right.
Go ahead. Leave for now, but I got my eyes on you.
I thought they were going to pick him up and put him upside down and shake the money out of his pocket.
Yeah, I was waiting for that, right?
John sees it, does nothing. He just walks away. This is where we're expecting our hero to intervene.
Right.
No, he just walks away.
Mind's his own business. His hands were tied at the time.
And then we see he's like on a ferry now. I think he was gonna like wash his hands of the relationship. He's gonna throw all the things that reminded him of her away.
Right.
Got roses that he was gonna give her. He's got flowers. He's got pictures.
He read the book. 24 hours after your wife died, you need to move on. So it's been one whole day.
But he still had the urn, I'm assuming, with her ashes in. I thought he was gonna spread the ashes while he was on the ferry, but he's clutching this urn.
Yeah.
And then we get this beautiful scene.
Think about how quickly they worked here. It's been one day. It's barely been 24 hours. They have already cremated the body, given him the ashes, and he's already like hitting town. He's going on boats. He's
still anguished because he picks up. He's holding that cufflink, the one clue, and he bites on it. He goes, ah, and then we just cut away.
And we're back to thugs. I believe these are thugs like in the Central Park or something.
Yeah.
It was some kind of park. They were having a good time. This is like our first good glimpse because the first three goons we saw were pretty much 80s looking goons, the jeans, sweaters tucked in. But these are our first look of goons that have like masks and everything on.
Yeah.
You would think I'd be drinking with how many fuck-ups I've had today. Just water. Just H2O. But they're fighting over $50 that they like stole off somebody.
Well, I didn't know what was going on because there's a guy reading a paper. They do a lot of exposition with papers in this movie. The headlines tell all. I think it said something like woman killed on subway or something.
Yeah, that's how they're kind of keeping us abreast to the whole women capturing thing.
So, I mean, I'm glad that the thugs are at least keeping up with the current events.
That's true.
And he's reading it, and he burns a hole with he's smoking a cigar, and he burns a hole through his paper for some reason.
I did not notice that.
Yeah. And then this thug comes in with a fucking switchblade, he grabs the guy, puts the knife right up to his throat, and where's your money? And everybody whips out $1. Like, everyone's terrified of this guy.
Yeah.
And then it turns out he's their friend.
He was their friend.
He takes their money still, and then ha.
They're having a fun time at the park, just being crazy kids.
There's a guy that's got gauze wrapped around the bottom of his face, and then he's got like a fucking napkin on his head, and then like the Arab Sheik thing, like a belt.
There was two guys like that. I forgot all about him. He reminded me because there was another one who had like a blue one on, and then there was one with like a white one on. These outfits, everybody.
This is what I miss because at the time, gangbangers dressed like this, like crazy shit like this. Now they're just boring, like tracksuits and shit, like sportswear.
Yeah,
people had fucking style back then.
It's gonna be a tracksuit. It's gonna be a bald Russian in a suit. It's gonna be a bald geek in a suit. It's nothing this entertaining.
No, it's like straight out of the Warriors, dude.
Yeah. And so, again, another kind of cool shot because they're having a good time and the camera just slowly starts panning over and we start to see this little gold chain swinging like he's walking out a Catholic church service.
No, he's got the urn with her ashes.
Yeah, but that's what it reminded me of, that thing that they swing and the smoke comes out. It reminded me of that. It didn't look like an urn. It was so small.
Since these are scumbags, you're like, hey, let's take that thing from that guy. We don't need it. We don't even know what it is. We're going to take it because we're asshole thugs. So they go up on John. John, he's just like, just leave me alone, all right?
Yep. And there was probably, John, I imagine, was using a little bit more racial slurs in here, but they just went with Chinatown, what are you doing? So they toned that down quite a bit.
And then John, he's got to protect himself. He's got to stand his ground. So, because remember, the carry conceal laws were much different in 84, Griff. So he would have, now he just pull a gun on and shoot the guys.
Right.
But he couldn't have a gun at this time.
Yes, of course.
So he just does the next best thing. Tippy taps the fuck out of these guys.
Yeah.
John does some amazing tippy tap. They're Jean-Claude level.
They are really good.
And he just tippy taps them, kicking them all. And then he just walks off.
Yeah, he finishes his prayer, and then he just leaves. All right. So now John is at like the corner. He's looking at, the donut shop where all the good cops and detectives walk out of, and he sees this one guy. It's a black gentleman. We don't have a name for him, I don't think. It was Jimmy?
Detective Jimmy.
All right, Detective Jimmy.
Voice of Leon Isaac Kennedy from Penitentiary movies. This guy was the biggest piece of shit in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
He's the classic asshole cop. Hands tied at all times.
He might as well have just kept his hands behind his back the whole time because he really was just pointless.
It's been 24 hours. We pointed that out. Where are my wife's killers? Oh, you see, I'm tired of you bothering me, first of all. I'll get to it when I get to it. All right? These things take time. He's just like brushing this guy off. He's like, you're asking me to do my job?
Come on. I mean, women are being captured all over the place. You think I got time to worry about your dead little wife? Like, what do you think? That the city owes you something?
And he goes, the city does owe me justice. And the cop's just like, he just gives the international, he crosses his hands in front of him.
Hands are tied.
Hands are tied.
So
So now he's just fucking losing his mind.
This scene belonged up on the fucking shelf with like the whole Footloose scene that everyone goes crazy for. Is that the one in the abandoned factory where he starts dancing?
Yeah.
That's this scene. Except it
came out at the same time. Maybe it inspired this.
Except
maybe Kevin Bacon might have been on the set, man.
Maybe, but Bacon, it took like 4 minutes to express it. John takes 20 seconds to express it, and just as well.
He just starts. He's like, there's like
I have
girders.
It was like setups to lift an engine block or something. Like,
and he's just ping ponging himself in between these girders. Like, why? And he leaps in the air. Freeze frame.
The freeze frame was so good, and they nailed it.
And a great why from Don the Dragon Wilson.
They nailed it. All right, so John, he's returning home. He's up in his attic that he's moved into now.
This is a loft.
Yep, and he's
got his Buddhist shrine up. He's lighting candles.
Yep. He's got out those ceremonial blades, and he's just starting. He's unsheathing it, but he's revealed a little bit of the blade, and then he grabbed the blade to start sliding the rest of the sheath off. So he's just cutting his hand open. Very gnarly scene.
That's how fucked up he is, man.
He's got a lot of adrenaline, and I think we're about to see him go take it out on some
So now
people.
we're on the classic New York subway. Graffiti on every fucking surface, literally. This is a real New York subway.
Yeah.
And we see this couple, they just got back from Studio 54 somewhere, they're high on coke, they just want to get home and fuck. And these goons are just hanging out, and they're fucking with them, and they're like, let's just get off on this stop. The chick in this scene is Sharon Mitchell, who's a porn star.
Oh.
I always thought she was ugly. But she takes off, and then it's the theater of the mind. They get chased away, we hear a scream, we're like, okay, somebody got raped.
Yeah.
There actually is a deleted scene where they show her getting raped, but the guy deleted it, obviously.
Okay.
So we're just setting up how fucking awful this fucking city is.
Yeah. So after we've seen that horror show, we're outside, beautiful, right on the East River.
John realizes he's got to take the justice into his own hands, into his own hands.
He had all that adrenaline. He had to go work it out. He decides to train in nature.
It's the best way.
So he's working on those tippy taps. He hasn't busted out those tippy taps, and he did it at the park, but he realized my hinges are a little rough. I gotta loosen them up.
Gotta oil them up.
So
we get a nice little tippy tap montage. Every kind of tippy tap kick you can imagine, he's doing it. He's swinging the swords. It's amazing. And then he hears something off in the distance. It's another rape gang.
Yeah.
We get a nice shot, just some legs. And then we pull out. She's got legs.
I was just going to
I
start
bet
doing
you
that.
John Liu fucking probably got the rights to this. Like ZZ Top wrote the song for this movie.
Yeah, probably.
And they were like, just throw it on the fucking album, and it became a huge hit.
Oh, man.
So these guys, I guess they're trying to adopt the Droog look because they're all wearing jock straps over their jeans.
I don't remember where it was at in the movie. It was on the rooftop fight. The two Droogs were wearing the cups, and John tried to kick them,
right.
And the guy stops and knocks on it. And I was just like, God, this is... If this stretched for 25 minutes like this, it would be a Young Bucks match. But because it all takes place in 5 minutes.
This whole fucking movie, the exception of John Liu, it's all AEW awkward fucking fight choreography.
Yeah, the choreography is very rough.
Yes. And so they're getting ready to rape, and then a shuriken just goes, hits a dude like in the neck or some shit.
Yeah.
And which basically always is the guy holding it between his fingers, holding his hand up against his neck, like, ah! And then some more, and like they get, the girl gets away, and these guys get fucked up.
And then we just cut over 4 scenes back to back.
Do we get to see John in his ninja outfit?
I don't even remember if we do. I
know we do see him throw him, but I didn't know if he was in his ninja outfit yet.
Yeah, I don't know because I don't think the gangers got to see him yet. And now we're cutting to the streets of New York.
Yeah, right in the middle. We see a tourist. He's got the giant ass fucking camera on his shoulder. Wow, look at how big these buildings are. There's some women just talking. They don't have street smarts. They're not watching their environment. So these guys go perfect pigeons. So they run up to them, grab their purses, and start taking off.
And then funk music should have been playing.
I'm glad
here.
you brought that up. 'Cause I don't think we brought up the music.
We have not,
because this movie did not have music, obviously, because it didn't have a soundtrack.
Right.
So they hired guys from around here I guess they're called Voyager or Voyager 3. I don't remember exactly. But they did a really nice kind of Carpenter-esque kind of synth soundtrack.
I liked it. There was a lot of guitar work in there that did not make me think of... it made me think of Pink Floyd more than it made me think of...
I'm thinking more of the synth stuff.
Yeah, no, but the synth stuff, I would have liked heavier on the synth and less of the guitar. But
I agree.
It was still good.
Yeah.
It was still good. But this needed some funk track going on because here comes a fucking ninja on roller skates.
Right. And remember, this is '84, so they're roller skates. We're not cool rollerblades.
No,
he's got the big fucking toe brakes on and everything.
Yeah, and so of course he's just scooting right by. He's sliding, he's slipping, he's going under, he's going over, and he snatches. I don't remember. Does he get the purse right back, or does he have to fight somebody first?
I think he grabs the purse. He does a flip over car. The skates magically disappear for that scene, lands, and then they're back.
Amazing.
And then he gets the I think he gives the purse back and gives it to the ladies, and then he gets involved with the goons, and we get some more. These goons, I think these were the goons that had these are probably the creepiest fucking masks. They're shaped like your face, but they're clear.
Yes, they were so fucking creepy. It was like they did some artwork underneath them too.
It was like almost like makeup on like a woman's makeup on like a clear plastic face mask.
Exactly. It was fucking crazy looking. I loved it.
And he fucks him up. And this is John's patented move. He has hollowed out eggs full of baby powder. Like,
he did this more than once?
Yes, he did. That's his patented move.
I only saw the one time, and it was...
No, every fight scene he does this.
I saw it the one time where he's like on his back, and he's holding him, and then he tosses... So when I read Egg Bomb, I was like, what the fuck's he talking... Yeah. Okay, but... I was like, oh my god, he Malachi Blacked it, because he's trying to hit the people in the eyes, and it goes nowhere close to their face, and then the guys come up, my eyes.
So, fucking baby powder, cocaine, I don't know what the fuck it is, but it fucks these guys up.
Oh, yeah.
And then a biker, I guess he just notices like a criminal brother in trouble. He just gets involved.
He ends up fleeing into an alley. We're watching.
Wet as fuck, by the way.
Oh my god, the Zargathas have been lurking all over this place.
Every fucking alley is wet for some reason.
I'll have to. My next correspondence with Chris, I'll ask him like, what was going on in New York in the '80s with their creatures. But so wet, he got chased into there. He was beating the shit out of everybody. Now he has pulled out his little ninja sword and he's chopping at people. And then he turns to the one motorcyclist who hasn't even got a chance to take his get off his bike yet. And he just puts the sword right up to his helmet. And the guy's like, "I'm gonna talk to you." So I
tell them I'm coming for them. And he's like, dude, I was just making a left turn. I don't know what the fuck's going on. You're just making assumptions because I'm a biker that I'm a criminal, and I don't like that.
Yeah, really. He really did just kind of, what do they call it? He, stop and frisk them.
So now we're on the streets. We're probably on 42nd Street, Times Square area, because we're seeing all the movie theaters.
I think this was nighttime.
It was nighttime.
And they're driving by in a car, right?
Yes.
And we're just listening to the gangers giggle about all the evil deeds they've been up
right.
to.
And like we said, this is guerrilla style.
Ultra-violence.
So we're seeing like real people on the streets, real crazy people in New York.
Did you notice what movie was playing?
Ninja 3 Domination.
That's right.
And so we're getting a nice taste of 1984 in New York.
Taste of 1984
And we see John and Jack and Randy. Apparently, I guess John must have went back to them and says, I have this great story about the crime in New York. And there's this guy, this ninja out there. And so they're just observing. They're filming it,
Yeah, I see. This is where I was really confused about. I didn't understand that John was working at a TV studio. So I was like, why is he just hanging out with these two people with the camera and everything? But then it's like, well, Randy's his friend and wants to be his new, girlfriend.
Squeeze.
And all that. Squeeze, yeah. But they're like, we got to stop these guys.
And then we cut to the plutonium killer on the same streets. And he's a very informed guy. He always gets a paper every night. He knows what's going on in New York at all times.
I love it. He's always getting the headlines, and it's clearly been white sheeted over and everything, and then they, magic marker out a big headline.
And there's something about a ninja hero, and he harumphs at that.
Harumph.
It's like, I don't like that.
So he's got to go back to his limo, and he's got a toolbox of the Covenant. Murray, help me out here.
I don't know what it was. It was the fucking briefcase from Pulp Fiction, I think.
Maybe
it's like a tackle box. I don't know if he's going to go fishing. Something was said. I didn't write down what it said, but something was said on it, like danger or something, like radioactivity. So then we see a cut of him looking at it. He opens it up. A green light emanates from it.
And I believe he finally does take his glasses
off.
Yeah.
And then he starts spazzing out.
It's freaking out. So we know very little. Pen gun, rat tail, limo driving.
You know nothing about plutonium at
high
this time.
profiling, jet flying. That's all we know about him.
Kiss stealing, wheeling dealing.
He was wheeling and dealing.
Son of a gun. And so he's this freak. He's like, blah, 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 blah. And his hands, the skin's coming off his hands. And then he pulls a candle out and just puts it out with his hand.
What the fuck?
And then we see his face. Half his face is fucking falling off.
Yeah, he's started feeling up his face and everything. And they show his palm later, and he's got a giant, again, Indiana Jones, the guy who's got the metal, engraved in his hand from grabbing it when it's super hot. It's kind of what he's got going on here.
And we're just okay, we'll go with it. I can just imagine the guys putting the movie together. How the fuck are we going to put this into the movie?
Yeah, this scene has to be in there. How do we make it connect to anything? They did it such a good job. I can't imagine how challenging it was to cut this down to 90 minutes.
Right. So now we're back. It's daytime. Next day, the gangers just hanging out. Another group of gangs.
Yeah, and of course, just like a Death Wish movie. Except it's in the middle of the day. There's just two giggling girls running around in this graffitoed up, just
totally desolate area in New York.
Hobo fires everywhere, and these two women are just cackling to themselves. Johnny's pretty good looking. I think you guys would make a cute couple. The conversation they're having,
right?
Surrounded by gangers, just hey toots, and they're just talking about how Johnny's got a cute tush.
All right, and these gangers do as gangers do. They're rape. So they pounce on these girls. Well, first the girls get in their car, and they're about to take off.
Yes.
And they jump on their car.
Yes.
Make it crash. And then they pull them out.
Right.
Meanwhile, Randy, Jack, and John are watching from a car, a van or something.
So we're both assuming they're not going to do anything because they've already set that precedent in the movie. And just film it.
Yeah, just film it. Don't get involved.
Yeah.
Just film it. John's I got to get a Quiznos. Anybody want one? And they're no, it's okay.
We might be here a while. Looks like they're going to take their time with these ladies. I'm going to go get a Quiznos or two.
So he takes off, then winks at the camera, and they're we know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. And then, whoo, I can't whistle.
What kind of whistle do you want? Just
I don't know, just whistle. Because, it's a Western movie, the gangers just stop there. They're in the middle of raping two women that are screaming, and they're was that a whistle?
And then our ninja appears, flips on top of the car, I did not like the fact that he's wearing a white ninja suit with black ninja boots. It clashed for me. I'd like keep it all black or all white.
Yeah, okay.
Franco Nero would never be caught dead with black boots. Or a
This
white
is a good
ninja
point.
suit.
I'm agreeing with you on this one.
Throw some fucking egg bombs. I can't believe you didn't see the egg bombs. He uses them in every damn fight.
It's again sensory overload.
I
There's
love the
so
ingenuity.
much.
It's literally like, I need a bomb. I'll just hollow out an egg, drain it, put some fucking baby powder in it. It's problem solved.
There we go.
And so he just throws them at these guys. And this is where we have the guy that had the kendo mask on. And we got the other kind of generic gangers.
The clear mask people were there. We had another Droog there, I believe. Like,
Right.
God, these villains are so good.
Guys with fucking ace bandages wrapped around their face.
And, of course, Randy and Jack, they're just loving this. They're just like, this is some great fucking shit here. Who the hell is this ninja guy? Just eating up all the film on this. And
One guy, I think it was Kendo guy, breaks a fucking 2x4 over John's head, and he no-sells it.
Oh, man, of
He's just
course,
like,
man.
whatever. And then they get into a bizarre, like, sword fight.
Okay.
Where this is where it gets really AW, because he's literally like, okay, positioning them and
Yeah.
shit, and he's like tippy-tapping them in the face. They're waiting for their cues and shit.
Yeah.
And it was a very awkward fight.
I was having a hard time. Again, it's like I got hyper-focused on some things, and the second time I watched it, what I was getting hyper-focused on was just how slow and staged everything was.
Yes,
Like,
very
there's no
slow.
good flow to it.
Yeah.
So that's
Which, I mean, we got to cut these people slack. I
Oh.
mean, John's obviously a martial arts actor. These people are just fucking, amateurs.
and again, they probably didn't really have any money to pay them.
They probably just went to some local dojos and were like, hey, you want to be in a movie?
maybe,
kind of thing.
yeah. And then it was like, you can cover up your face. You don't have to really put yourself out there or anything. In fact, we would like you to bring a mask. But I mean, hey, get the message across.
And then, so he takes them all out, and then we see Jackson's licking his lips. This would be great. We're going to get this on TV tonight. And then
He hears in the back, I miss anything, guys? This Quiznos is wonderful. Eat Quiznos subs.
classic Spider-Man move,
Classic.
It's like, hey, something going on, guys? Cut to the rape factory.
Oh, man.
This is where they warehouse all their women. Apparently, they don't send them one at a time. They warehouse them, and then they send them in bulk.
Yeah.
They make better money selling them
It's
wholesale.
very. That's a good point.
So all these women are just tied up. We see cufflinks just licking body parts.
There
and-
is like no order to this place. Like it looked like the backstage of like a theater because there's wires just hanging everywhere. There's like weird staircases to
Yes.
nothing. It
Yes,
was
women are just chained willy-nilly everywhere.
everywhere.
There's a flat surface chain a woman to it.
Exactly.
There's women on the ground. There's women against the walls. They're warehousing them, dude. They didn't have like a what was it? I can't even think
It's
of what
okay.
I'm saying.
But we
So-
just get a quick glimpse of that before we go back outside, where now there's a car being bashed up.
right, the gang, another gang.
Yeah.
Happens walking by, they see a car, like, let's fuck this car up. So they start trashing it.
And it just so happens that Randy and Jack are walking by.
Jack's like, this is good shit, man.
Like, it's a good thing he brought 5 extra reels today. Cause
And how fucking moronic is fucking Jack? Because Randy's like, Jack, that's your car. What?
So they decide, well, they got weapons, pipes, bats, and I got a camera.
when people start fucking with your shit, then we got to intervene. When it's
Suddenly,
somebody else,
yeah.
hands tied.
Yeah. And it's not even a human, a
Right.
car. I'm willing to die for my car, not
Didn't
another
they
human.
flip the fucking car? I thought they like pushed it over.
They might have. I don't remember.
And then, of course, the gangers like, well, we'll kill and rape you guys too. So they start chasing them.
Right.
One of them pins Randy down. She's like, she gets up on a fire escape, knocks on a door. A raper's behind the fucking door. Rapists everywhere.
Oh,
This is Rape
no.
Town.
Oh, no.
And she gets pinned down. Is about to be raped. And then we just see a shuriken. Another neck shot. Guy holding a shuriken up his neck.
Yeah, okay.
But this is a little different. We see there's a little monogram on it because John knows the importance of branding. Not only is it justice and branding.
Right.
It says New York Ninja on the shuriken.
Original influencer, John Liu the Ninja. So, obviously, Randy saved.
Right.
Jack, however...
Jack bailed he threw Randy down to like distract him and bailed on her.
Yeah. He turned it. I don't know what he turned into Spider-Man himself because he's on a rooftop now.
When you're being chased, the safest place to go is a rooftop. By the way,
It always is because he's looking at these gangsters.
Basement,
they got
too.
the mask. And they got all these clunky clothes on. He's like, they can't climb up a scaffold like I can. Well, apparently they can. So
they surround him.
They're feeling good. They've got him surrounded. They're telling him
This is where
what's
we
what.
got the fucking guy with the fucking swim goggles.
Yes. So we're seeing this. Everything's doom and gloom, and they even have a guy looking out. He's between like two water towers,
Yeah.
and I don't remember if he had a gun or not.
He did have a gun.
He
He was
did.
going to shoot Jack. He's like, let's just shoot this motherfucker.
Let's shoot him. And so he's narrowing down that gun on him, and then suddenly we see a ninja's head just pop up over him, and then I don't know.
He just goes, boop, hits his head, and like kicks the guy off.
Yeah, boop.
And then he jumps down, starts fighting. This is the scene you said the guy, he kicks the dude in the dick.
This is it. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. Two people. Two different people did the bit. They might as well have done the bit where a guy tried to sweet stand kick him, and he grabs his leg and then gives it to his friend.
They do that scene.
They did? Oh,
That was in the earlier scene with the kendo guy. He does the thing where he like grabs. He has like grab his foot and does that.
Oh, my God. Cole Cabana, where are you? Wait.
So-
no, that's Evil Uno who always does that.
So like the guy does the dick spot where he's like, I'm wearing a cup. We've got the guy wearing ski fucking goggles. It's like amazing. All these guys. Got Dumb Donald's probably somewhere in there with a ski mask. And he just fucks him up. I think he uses more egg bombs on him because that's his thing.
It's just
That's
shitting egg bombs
amazing how he
everywhere.
doesn't break him. Like, where does he hold him? Like,
I don't know. He's so powerful and yet so gentle.
Right.
It's amazing. And as he should have done, he doesn't allow you to see everything. We just cut back down to Jack, who's running down. Apparently, he's in like a parking garage now or something.
No, they're like in a parking lot. I'm assuming it's the parking lot of where the newscast goes.
Yeah. And so he's trying to get away when just suddenly the boss pulls up, JJ,
Right.
and he's like, oh my God, I got the best story. I got so much good shit on film. And he's like, film? We don't need film. And then he's got a shuriken with the monogram and everything.
Right. And then he's like, and guess who gave me that? And then Randy pops up in the backseat. The girl you left to get raped and murdered?
Yeah.
And he's like, not only that, kid, check this out. Pulls out a T-shirt that says, I love New York Ninja. This guy fucking knows the importance of branding, kid. You learn something from him. You can have this one. And he gives it to Jack, and then he just drives off. I guess he's going to fucking make love to fucking Randy now. She's all hot and horny.
Right. And then, of course, because we're hearing all the stories about the New York Ninja, Pluto, he's going back to his newsy boy.
Right.
And he's reading the headlines. Oh, boy. Another something.
There's a crime
Blackbeard
foiled or
like
some
shoe.
shit like that.
Yeah.
So now the kid from earlier. You think he learned his lesson. He's on the straight and narrow. Nope, he's still a little piece of shit. He's still slinging drugs on the streets.
And he's still happy as fucking can be.
Right.
He's dancing along.
doesn't care about that he
Best
owes
life.
Jerry a fucking debt. you
Yeah,
know?
that's going to be me when I owe
Right.
debts to everybody
Right.
from all my gambling addiction. I'm just going to be skipping through towns.
Take a lesson to what happens to this kid later on.
Yeah.
Because and the guy dressed now. Jerry, he looks like a guy who plays triangle for fucking Prince. He's got the fucking jacket with the epaulette and the braids and shit hanging off of it. And he's like, "Look, you little shit, where's my fucking money at? I got a perfect reason why I didn't get it for you." And he's going ready to go into his spiel that he made up.
Right. I may not have it right now, but I put down a couple dollars on the Broncos, and I'm pretty sure they're going to cover today.
And then before you know it, boom, another egg bomb hits somebody in the face. It's the New York Ninja.
Yeah.
But this time, Jerry's prepared. He's strapped.
Well, yeah.
He pulls out a gun, shoots fucking John.
Yes. They don't fucking bullshit here. They just shoot the shit out of him. Well, once, but still.
And apparently, little boy, he doesn't have a name. What's his fucking name going to be?
Baby boy, let's call him Kane.
No, we call him Shane. Fuck that. I'm not going to.
Oh, I meant to say Shane.
I'm not
I meant to say
I'm not
Shane.
going to smirch Kane.
I mean, this kid, what he's about to do here is a Kane move, at least.
Apparently, he's a fan of Return of the Ninja because he knows nothing about the New York Ninja at this time.
Yeah.
But he throws himself in the front of a bullet for fucking John. And he gets shot.
Yeah. And the guys, they're ready to shoot him some more, but then the cops finally show up. Yeah, the sirens.
Let's
and they're
get
like,
the fuck out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
So now we're back at John's loft. John apparently brushed it off. He just got shot in the shoulder.
Yeah.
That doesn't affect you at all.
I want to point out that this time, after his wife dies, he suddenly goes back into his 70s bachelor leisure wear. So the first scene, he's wearing dad outfits, New Balance shoes. Next, right after the wife dies, he's wearing the V-neck, like the button down where he's got it just one button above his crotch. He's got a gold medallion on. He's got these fancy white shoes on.
He's got to get a new wife.
Exactly. And now
he doesn't have his shirt on. He's got peck jelly on in this scene.
And I want you to know, after this scene, when he meets baby boy Shane, he's like, I have to be a father figure again, because he starts wearing the sweaters and everything. He starts wearing the dad wear.
Okay.
It's very interesting how he did that. John Liu, he knows what
now
he's doing.
He's shirtless. He's like, he's gonna take care of himself. He doesn't need to go to the hospital. He grabs a little knife, pulls the perfect bullet comes out of his shoulder, right into a little cup. And then he's healed. He doesn't do anything else. He's just like, all I need to do is pull the bullet out.
Okay, come on. He lit some incense and everything.
He had some sage. He was like,
they were spice melange incense, so that'll help the healing process. I believe he put a Quiznos meatball on the wound, and of course, that's just infused with so many spices and cheeses. That'll do it. That'll do the trick.
And then he did the same thing with Shane.
Yep.
And Shane comes to, and he's like, are you the ninja? And he's like, nods. Mm-hmm. Will you be my friend? And then he's like,
There we go. Several weeks later, Murray.
It says it. Several weeks later.
That's right.
Ninja fever's all over the world. We're hearing like a radio broadcast. They're like, people love the ninja. Crime is down 5,000%. There's only 50 rapes a day instead of 500. It's everybody's loving the ninja.
Right. I mean, come on, guys. This is at a time when Charles Bronson is not in New York.
Yeah,
he's in L.A.
Yeah.
So we needed the ninja to step in.
Right. And they're like you said, they're becoming like a father and son type thing. He's the son he never had. There's nothing son that he lost. He never got to have.
My God, that's right. This is the fishing scene.
Yes.
Oh, God, this scene.
So Shane is just fishing like a normal person. And you could tell this was filmed in like the fall or winter.
Yes, they're all wearing coats and sweaters and shit.
John stripped down to a Speedo, leaps in the water with a spear, just dunking his head in the water. He comes up with his tiny little minnow.
Yeah.
And then fucking Shane's got this giant fucking salmon on. Look what I got.
They're going to eat, salmon in New York. It managed to get upstream there. Oh, my God.
And he's like, hey, well, I guess we both got a fish today.
He says, beginner's luck, and he gives him a little jab across the cheek, and he's got one, like, Shane is pulling the Robert Burns, I believe, was Steven Seagal's archaeologist character.
Uh-huh.
He's sitting way up on a pedestal and then looking down on John as he puts one knee up on a perch. And
one
he
of
says,
his balls hanging out the Speedo.
God, that Speedo. Well, no, I don't think he has testicles at this point because they probably shriveled up inside of him. I can't imagine how cold that would be.
Cut to Halloween parade.
Oh.
We see, like you said, he's become the father he always wanted to be. So he's taken young Shane to the parade.
Right, and this is Silver Shamrock time, right in that one season where they, were really putting masks
Lucky
out.
for this kid, he wanted a clown mask. Silver Shamrock does not make clown masks.
That's true.
Because he even was going to say, like, you want the clown mask?
Yeah.
You don't want the cool-ass skull mask?
You don't want the pumpkin mask? Maybe the witch mask with the giant fucking logo on the back?
I want the clown. All right. And he goes off to get it. Meanwhile, we see some other creep wearing a clown mask, and underneath it, some fucking welding goggles.
And he's got a giant medallion that he's apparently going to hypnotize people with.
Right, he's just like...
Is he Vince McMahon?
Yeah, he is. And he notices this chick, and he's like, hey, look into my medallion.
He's got a thing for ladies with giant knockers, apparently.
Ooh, sloppy, gross knockers. I did not like the tits in this. They were sloppy. And so, yeah, he's like hypnotizing her. Then, Shane's like, I like your mask.
Yeah, he taps him on the back and goes, I like your clown mask. Because they're wearing the same clown mask. And
then it disappears. It magically disappears.
he was so angry that this little child told him he liked his mask. He threw it away, and then he goes back to hypnotizing the woman, who apparently he had just enough under a spell that he was able to interact with the child and turn around, and she was still just like drooling over him.
Right. And so apparently he lives in his limo because he's back in the limo. Now, this is where we get a shot of these sloppy tits. Like it was a very unflattering shot. And it was weird because she was a skinny woman, but she had these fat sloppy tits, and I didn't like them because it was like literally all you see in the shot. They should have cut this. And she's sitting on his dick, apparently.
Yeah, it's really hard to figure out because if you're familiar with Phil Collins, I believe it's the In the Air album where it's the black light and then it's just lit by candle and it's just his giant bulbous head. That's the kind of lighting they did. This is not John D. Hart lighting. This is very interesting lighting here.
And then he starts spazzing again. He didn't even have the fucking toolbox open.
I was so confused because they just show you her face and his face. You have no idea that she is sitting with her back to him, riding his dick at this point. So I thought they were sitting face to face. And he was just like staring daggers into her eyes. And
no, because he didn't want to look at those tits either because he wanted to keep his erection. Fun fact, this was that guy's girlfriend, so it makes sense.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So she's riding his dick, and he just starts freaking out because he's probably got a glimpse of those tits in the rearview mirror or something.
Well, he pulled this move, too, because does he do the candle thing again?
He just starts smoking. His hands start smoking.
And then I remember him, like, running his hands down her back.
Yes, he puts his hands on her back and starts burning her.
So now I know what happened to Cody last week, is he fucked the Pluto man. Holy shit, this scene was so fucking weird and amazing.
And then he finishes on her back, burns her a little more because he's got radioactive cum, and then he starts strangling her. That's what he does.
Yeah.
He pulls out that medallion I think he had, and because on a chain, and starts choking her.
And here is what I love, is that they just do this nice little transition into the morning. And like you said, he just lives in this limo with Rat Tail. They're literally just living out of this car. So they're parked at the spot that they met with the geek, earlier, who was dealing with the girls and everything, the headshots.
Yeah.
And
they're back at Trash's place.
He put towels on it, so it wasn't as
that
loud.
beat would really get a worm excited.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so he's sitting there with the windows down, despite it being Halloween, and it's got to be cold as shit around there. And he's right off the river, like that breeze.
Well, he was
that
smoking, so he needs to cool down.
I mean, I guess it would take
Rat
a long
Tail
time.
just rubbing his face with a cane.
Just up there rubbing his face. He's just staying real low here. So the windows are down, and we slowly see a guy in a mask. Because of course, I don't remember what kind of mask
they
it
were
was.
the clear masks.
Clear mask.
Yeah.
He pops up. And he sees the girl passed out, and he sees the dude, Pluto passed out. He's got those glasses on. You can't tell. And I forget. It's the guy who he comes up on Pluto's side first because then he starts coming. I need the money. The pen.
Right.
He shot twice, in fact. Yeah.
Like kills that guy. Then another goon
on the other side
creeps in, and Rat Tail's like, I got this one.
Yeah, because he's like, I like your girlfriend. Is she a little tired? And they stole this line from Commando. She's dead tired.
She's dead tired. And then that guy just says, fuck. He sees his buddy dead. So he goes running. Rat Tail's like, I got this guy. Jumps out, got the cane. He's like spinning it around and shit.
This is what movies fail at doing nowadays. We get our moment to see how great Rat Tail is. And then he has even more surprises for us later, which made me pop big time. When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, is this what I think it is? And it was. Oh, so this is great. We're establishing again that Pluto, weird, and also he's got his male needs too. He's got to fuck sometimes. And Rat Tail is a badass. He can take people out.
Right, takes him out. I think with the cane this time. He
just used the cane. Lots of surprises. He's going to keep a lot of surprises for us.
No, Detective Jim. Now they just dumped the body. They literally put the girl in a garbage can, ass first. So she's her feet and her head are like sticking out.
Yep.
And Jimmy, detective, and his partner Janet, voiced by Cynthia Rothrock.
Oh, okay.
He like, what are you dressed like that for? I'm undercover.
she was dressed with like a normal shirt, but then like a blazer over it.
Yeah.
And that was undercover for her?
Yeah, that was.
I can't imagine.
You never seen her like in a job. She's totally got pantsuits and everything.
Okay.
And she's like, yeah, I'm undercover. And because she's like going undercover to find these people that are kidnapping these women.
Right.
Jimmy, hands always tied.
Always tied.
And he's like, has there been an autopsy yet? We just found the fucking body. What do you, like...
We got that Nita woman done in like an hour. What are we wasting our time here for?
And it's like, I know what I'll find. Because he sees the radiation burns on her back.
Oh, did he? I didn't. See, Jimmy does not come off as a smart person. He's no Columbo, let's say.
Well, he figures out who the New York Ninja is.
After the kids tell him.
He walks off. Then they like go, okay, take the body away. The guys pick the body up, move it 2 feet, drop it, and then walk away. And like leave her. Like, hey man, that's not my pay grade here.
Well, they probably said, well, it's union break time. Let's go get some Quiznos, and we'll come back and handle the rest of this woman later.
So now we're back by, I guess Plutonium didn't even fucking leave. He just stayed by the docks where he meets up with his British guy.
Right. He wanted to be there early, make sure it was safe and everything.
And now the roles are switched. Plutonium gives him some pictures.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah, what about these? And he's like, look, I need that warehouse of women. Can you get it? You'll work on my time, or we won't work at all. There's a rivalry between these guys. These guys are like, no, I'm the boss. No, I'm the boss.
Yeah. There's definitely a pissing match here, and who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do it better? Whose way are they gonna do it?
But Pluto breaks because he calls up his boy Cuff, because Cufflinks supplies all the broads. So he calls him up. Cufflinks is always waiting by that payphone.
Yes,
waiting for that call.
Oh yeah.
And
he always is. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, get me that reporter, Randy. Don't be sloppy. I need her. And then he hangs up. And he's like, what the fuck? Well, forget about it. I'm sick of this shit taking it from this guy.
Right.
They're all pissed off. And they're like, you know what? Fuck that guy. You're right. We should just tell this guy to fuck off.
This is really, I like how they're weaving in the dispute in the ranks here now, too. They did a great job with John Liu. You should not be, well, you know what? Do whatever you want. But you did a great job with this little movie.
So he cuts to Jimmy. He's talking with Janet again. It's just more like, I'm undercover, yada, yada, yada. Nothing, just setting up her storyline, basically.
Was this Johnny talking to her, or was this just Janet? Or Jimmy, excuse
Jimmy,
me.
yeah. And he was talking about the ninja because I think she had like a pin that said, I love New York Ninja. And he was like jealous of that.
And this is where he finally dons the Lauren Avedon trucker hat.
I don't know. It might even be worse than a Lauren Avedon.
Well, it is because he's got it propped up there like Lauren does, but then he pushed in the crown of the hat
to make it flat.
So it's like folded in it. It was so fucking weird, and I couldn't take my eyes off it. I was so bothered.
He's wearing a baseball cap, and he's trying to make it a flat top. So he presses down the top.
It was so weird. I did not.
And he wears it through the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
that was like going to be his contribution to the film.
That's how he goes undercover.
Right. So now John and the friends, they're at a school because New York Ninja Mania is running wild, people. Everyone's stopping crime now. The crime rate's gone down. They're like at a school, I think, talking to a principal.
It was the principal, or is it the mayor or something? It was.
I think it was the mayor.
It was. It was the mayor.
And he's just like, yeah, man. Ever since the New York Ninja came, and this is where we see John turning some knobs. We know he's a sound guy.
Okay. I did notice he was working on, but I just thought he was trying to be discreet or something. They just make a couple dollars or something. He's got to pay for that fucking, that
those
attic
eggs,
apartment.
Yeah, those eggs. Eggs aren't cheap.
And
the way he goes through them.
Yeah, and the eggs too. That's a good point.
And the mayor's just like, oh, man, it's fucking great. New York Ninja, we love him. And then what do you know? Just he says that some gangbangers show up.
Speak of the devil in Old Pier.
And one of them's cufflinks. And John notices because he sees the cufflink.
Well, he's got some great eyesight.
And they zoom in on it to let you know.
Oh, yeah. They freeze frame it for a little bit, too.
And like, because they got to get Randy.
Right.
So they just grab her. And like John's like, fuck, I can't blow my cover, So
I like the mayor's move into all this. You know what? He started his career in the police force because he just holds up his hands. Hands are tied, guys. I don't know what to do here.
But we don't need the mayor because Griff, we got Shane and his little gang of ninjas.
Yeah, they're on the swing set. They see what's happening, and little Shane goes, "Hey, Mickey, come here, man. I got a plan." And they huddle up, and he's like, "I'm Tom Brady. We're down 45-0 at the half, but we're going to go out there and we're going to beat the shit out of the Atlanta Falcons. And they're like, who the Atlanta Falcons? That fucker over there. So the kids, they all get the broomsticks. They get their kendo sticks. They get out a table. They light the table on fire. And they're like, you jabronis want to fuck with this?
And the kids, did the kids have fucking samurai swords? Like, they had swords. I don't know if they were supposed to be plastic or they were real. But the kids were dressed as ninjas. They're attacking the fucking guys.
Some of them were wearing, like, the kerchiefs. I think Shane decided to go with the cowboy kerchief look.
He did.
Yep.
And I think he was trying to channel his brother by having the Dodgers satin jacket on.
He did have the Dodgers satin. That would give you bravery.
Right. And they take out the goons.
Thanks, Wings, for that right. Right.
And so like Randy is saved. She did not get kidnapped.
Yeah.
Pluto later on sees the news coverage of this, and he is livid.
Yeah.
And he's just like, we got to do something about this.
Like, they're planning it out because they're like, well, he failed at getting Randy, but they were going to be getting Jack because they were trying to split up the news team, Jack and Randy.
That's right. So, because Jack and Randy are getting back to her apartment from jogging.
That's right.
And he's got the great Snoopy Joe Cool t-shirt on.
Yes.
And some sweatpants, some John Matuzak sweatpants on.
Oh, man. And Randy's wig, it's just, she's got like a headband on too, and it's just like floating. Her hair is floating above her head.
And she's like, well, I'll see you later. He's like, not unless you want to take a shower together.
Oh.
And he's like, oh, you sex creep, you. And he's like, I'm the scamp. And
See, they still work in so many things in there. Right. You're like, this is a real movie.
And like you said, Rat Tail and Pluto are watching from their limo because they're just parked right across the street.
Right, and they wait for Jack to cross into an alley, a wet, Zargatha-infested alley. Jack, what are you doing? You just ran half a block, and you're going to go into a Zargatha alley. See, he was asking for it.
And they kidnap him. And while that's going on...
it was that boy.
While that's going on... Janet gets kidnapped too. Because she's gonna get randomly raped, and then they notice she has her fucking badge just like on the lapel, like on the other side of the lapel of her shirt.
Did she?
So they flip it and they go, "She's a cop. I don't give a shit." And they just kidnap her and take her to the rape warehouse.
Oh my god! I noticed her get captured, but I didn't notice that's how they did it. Jesus Christ.
John decides the best defense is a good offense. He's like, I'm going to put my friends' lives at risk to finish these guys off. So he calls up Randy. He's like, I need to meet you at the park. And there's just so many random attacks in this movie. I'm glad I wasn't in New York in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I need to meet you in the park. And then she comes to the park. I think she's still jogging. He's in his ninja outfit in a tree watching. What's going on here? I mean, I understand they're limited with the editing. They don't like. They're like they this is what they have to work with. So I'm gonna let some continuity errors go by because this is all they have.
Oh, that's right. John asked her. I think he said Jack. John asked her to call out to the park, right?
John.
And all he's doing is watching her. He's using her as live bait,
right? And
that's a pretty fucked up thing to do. I think you jumped over a little bit. Yeah, you did. Because it's all right. We can just there's so many different cuts in this.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna get to
jumped way ahead.
Yeah, you're fine because there's so many little segments to build up to like the last act here. It doesn't matter. So we know what we need to know is that he basically allowed Randy to get captured.
Right.
Okay.
But
Detective Jimmy.
Detective Jimmy meets up with what?
What?
It's fucking the Brit who we didn't give a name either.
Yeah, G-Man.
No, I-Man. Because we learned he's an Interpol agent. He's not a bad guy.
There we go.
And he's like, I've been working on this sex trafficking thing for fucking ages, man. And we're just about to land the big fish, the plutonium killer.
Yeah.
And he's like, you've heard of this guy? He's ex-CIA, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well, what happened to him?
Well, they experimented on him, of course, with something with radiation. The only weakness he's got is light.
The only weakness he has is light.
And then he's like, I want to work with you, Detective Jimmy. Let's get these guys.
Yeah, he was just like, why haven't you guys made any progress on this? And Jimmy is just like, do you see my hands tied? He's like, oh, God fucking damn it. Do I have to do this all myself? Well, what about me? He's like, what about... He seriously does this to him. He says, what about you? I'm not doing this to help you. I'm doing this to help the fucking women. What the fuck's wrong with you? And Jimmy, of course, lets the Interpol guy walk off, and he goes, I smell another raise.
Cut to a random street. John's wandering the city. I think this is supposed to be by... I'm guessing it's by where Randy is, because their job was to get Randy. Cufflink's job was to get Randy, I thought.
It was.
And Pluto's to get Jack.
Right.
So they're like waiting outside Randy's. And Cufflink's he's in his car, so he's got his hand up, and you can see that Cufflink. He loves to show it off.
He does.
And then John does the most fucking ridiculous take on this.
There's no way he doesn't get punched in the face for doing this move.
He gets within 6 inches of the Cufflink, puts his face up against it.
Yeah, he's up on the curb, so the car's even a little bit lower, and he just puts his head like into the car. There is no way that guy with the short temper isn't going to punch him in the face.
Well, he does say, like, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing
That's
here?
it. He must have been eating. He must have had his hands a little full or something.
Probably had a Subway because he's a creep.
He's our Harkonnen.
And so maybe that's where now we're getting back to what I was saying earlier. This is, I think, where his plan goes into motion. Maybe, this is how I'm going to interpret it. They're outside Randy. He put it together. He's like, oh, they want Randy. I'm going to use her as bait.
Okay.
So he makes a call, and he's like, I have to meet you. Apparently, he must have made a call to Cufflinks, too, because they come at the same time in this park. He's laying in wait. He's like up in a tree in his ninja outfit. Randy was supposed to meet me in the middle of a forest.
Yeah.
Gangbangers grab her, start dragging her away.
Yeah, of course.
And then John leaps down from the tree and attacks them. And there's another fight, because there's like 50 fucking fights in this fucking movie.
Of course there is. I mean, I'm pretty sure they get Randy away.
They do
right?
get Randy away, but he does fight them.
He does fight some people. He just
and they take her back to the rape warehouse.
Yeah.
And now John meets up with Detective Jimmy.
Right. So John had to bail, apparently.
Maybe he put a tracker on Randy, and that's what he was going to do.
I thought all he did was he saw where the warehouse was.
Probably, because
I don't remember him fighting anybody when he got there, but he might have. There is just a lot of fights thrown in here. And again, they're working with 4 hours, and they just toss shit in there. So he might have. But I just remember him looking from like some bushes and seeing where they took her to.
I'm pretty sure Ned got thrown. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
So John reveals his plan to Detective Jimmy, because they're meeting on the docks where nefarious things happen.
Yep, he's trying to look natural, so of course he's got his Avedon baseball trucker cap on.
I fucking hate that. And he's like, "I need your help." Now, Jimmy says, "I want your help." He's like, "You got everything in order. I think I can slip in and take credit for all this shit."
You guys, that Interpol guy and you're doing all the hard work for me. I'm just filling out a little bit. Well, I'm having my secretary fill out the paperwork. I smell that promotion. 2 weeks. I'm going to be promoted in 2 weeks.
Here's the thing, John. And he crosses his hands in front of him, hands tied. I can't do anything within the law. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Whatever you want.
And then John's like, well, here's the problem. You want him alive because you want your promotion. I want him dead. And then he just walks off.
All right, and so we're back on the streets. Cufflink in front of his favorite payphone.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably right outside the subway he likes.
He's like Fonzie. He's got that payphone in the bathroom, like no one uses it but me.
That's right, yeah. And his favorite sandwich shop right there.
Right.
He's probably got his favorite coffee shop right there. He's got it all. So he gets a call from Pluto. And we learned that these guys have never seen, I don't remember if I've said this already, but they've never seen Pluto's face.
No.
So they have no idea what he looks like.
Only talk through the phone.
Exactly. They should probably recognize his voice, but that gets into other questionable things. Yeah. And so they, we
learned earlier that there's heat between these guys. He's getting tired of being bossed around by Pluto.
Right.
So he's like, look, because they have Randy and Pluto has Jack. And he's like, look, motherfucker, we're changing the rules here.
Yeah.
We want more money. Meet us under the bridge.
We want to talk face to face.
Under the bridge where all the buttholes get warmed up.
That's right. But Pluto's like, you're not going to talk to me, but I'll send my driver there. All right. You ready to go on the
I don't
bridge?
even think he says that. He's just like, you got a deal. And then later on he springs that.
Oh, no, he specifically says, I'm not going to be there. You can talk to my driver.
Okay.
Because that's what sells this. That's what
So
sells
they're
it.
under the bridge, and the gangbangers, Switchblade, Rico, and Cufflinks.
Yeah.
They meet up, and then of course we know that Plutonium Killer isn't the chauffeur, but
Right.
they don't. So he's got the chauffeur cap on.
He's
so
got the
it
cap.
looks legit.
And he's got his big old welder's glasses on.
Then he starts fucking with him. Switchblade pulls out the tiniest gun I've ever seen and says, "I'm gonna pistol whip you with this."
Yeah. He's not holding it like a gun. He is holding it to demonstrate, I have this tiny little gun and I'm going to pistol whip you with. It would be embarrassing. Because they're thinking, what is this driver doing giving us shit? You know?
Yeah. And then New York Ninja just leaps down from
No. You gotta remember this, because then he turns the tables on them and pulls out a gun himself. He's like, I got you fuckers.
And it was equally tiny.
And it
I
was
remember.
equally tiny. And it's
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. Why is that intimidating? You guys have guns too.
Right.
Like, none of
But
this
he
made...
meant it when he said it.
Yeah, apparently. None of this made any fucking sense. This was an awful little, like, Mexican standoff type situation or something. And just this thick fog of tension, someone goes, hey, is that a ninja up there?
And then John leaps down on the hood of the car. He has a fucking volleyball net. Literally, it's like the long fuck. It's not like he's supposed to have a ninja net. It's a volleyball net. And he just like throws it on them. They get it off and put it on John.
Yeah. Whew, God help us here, because we're getting into the final moments here, and it's a fucking whirlwind of shit. John managed to escape from that situation.
Well, they do a reverse shot where, in reality, John leapt down from the bridge, but they show it in reverse. So he leaps up into under the bridge, takes the net off himself, and then he starts running.
Yeah, because he ends up in a field.
Right.
Where just so happens Rat Tail happens to be waiting. Just so happens that's where Rat Tail happens to be waiting.
Right, because he's heard about this ninja guy, and he wants to test his skills against him.
Right. And now we're cutting to Jimmy, Detective Jimmy, who's arriving to free the women, but of course is captured.
Right. By a guy that has a fucking glued-on mustache, like a Fu
that
Manchu.
mustache. Because, yeah, that's right. He snuck up on somebody and held a gun to their head.
Right.
And he's like, take me to the women. And then he gets a gun put to his head.
Right.
That's been the theme here now for the last minute and a half.
Right.
People thinking they have the edge. And
So we cut to the field with Rat Tail. Now they're sword fighting. Rat Tail, the first they were doing one-on-one swords. Rat Tail magically makes two swords appear in his hand.
he is so amazing. The amazing Rat Tail. This is just an awfully designed fight, though, because a rapier is not designed for the kind of shit he's doing. Like, it's not
Well, did
designed.
he even know what he was doing? I don't know what. He was like literally just like, you and I could choreograph a better sword fight.
Yeah, they were...
Well, before I think we got to say, before he did his move, before the fight commenced, he did grab the rat tail and put it in his teeth.
And he bit down on it so hard.
And
so
then
good.
he's got two swords, but so does fucking the ninja. He pulls out two swords.
Yeah.
So we have this awful like when we all did it when we were kids. You got the sticks and you're doing the
Yup.
fucking fight. It's that level.
It is really
But
rough.
Rat Tail's got a little something up his sleeve.
Here it is. If I were a kid, I would have popped so hard. I popped really hard for this as an adult. So
Rat Tail starts staggering, and then fucking ninja goes, drunken sword fighting technique. And he starts doing drunken sword fighting things. He's just staggering around like a drunk,
it was so good. I loved it.
flopping around like a fish. He's like,
Yep. They don't even spar in this moment. He just flops around for 5. They were like, how do we extend this fight without any more bad sword fighting? Let's have you flop around. Right. So he flops around for like a minute and a half, and then he takes one lunge. It is the most obvious lunge ever. So, of course, John evades it and then slashes him, and that's it. Bye, Rat Tail.
now we're back in the limo, I think. And there's candles everywhere.
He might have been in a limo because we've never really seen him anywhere else. We've seen him pick up newspapers. We've seen him
Talking
on the
phone,
on the parade, talk on the phone on the street. I don't know where he is. Probably his car. That's a good guess.
Right. And he's got an 8x10 of Jack somewhere.
He has dotted out the I's.
I'm sure these were literally the headshots
Yeah,
like the actor
for the
used.
actor.
Yeah. And I'm sure all of those things were headshots from people who auditioned for the movie.
So he's poked out the eyes and drew like little bits of blood tears under it. And then, with that candle he likes to keep around.
He sets the picture on fire, and we're like, okay.
What is going on here? And he's whispering something. I forget what he was saying, but he's like, now I got a new pair of eyes. Egg.
All right, now we're back to the rape factory. And
No,
this
come on, man. Oh man, you forgot the cut.
I thought you fucked that up. They show that in this cut?
Yeah, because I was very confused. I was like,
Okay.
wait, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, this confused me too the first time I watched it. Then we get a shot of fucking plutonium, but it's Jack.
Yeah.
Wearing the fucking welder glasses, and I think the hat, wherever.
Yes, he had like maybe the cabbie hat. He had some kind of
he had
hat
the chauffeur hat on.
A chauffeur hat, yeah.
And we're like, what?
Because he picks up the paper like Pluto loves to do, and he looks at the headline, and of course it's like New York Ninja's fucking baller. And it's just like, wait a minute.
Yeah, the timeline gets really weird here. I don't know because I guess everything's happening at the same moment.
It's supposed to be that. It's supposed to just be like this flurry of events and how people are getting from the streets to this factory. This is very tough. So, sorry, everything's jumbled here. But we're going back
to the rape factory.
To the rape factory.
And we see a close-up, a zoom in on like a blow dart, and it goes right down the length of it.
Everything he does is so, without any flair. It's white. It's easy to move around. He's got his Fabergé eggs, of course, that he keeps in some kind of super secret pouch. But then they go down the barrel of this like 26-inch long blow gun. Feathers, purple, and we're in the dead of fall, so it stands out like a sore thumb. Right. But hey,
who
the fuck cares?
And he shoots a couple guards with it, and frees the women. So he gets into the rape factory. We said there's women chained at every surface.
Yeah,
and he's just leisurely like, whoosh, cutting the bonds, like it's literally like the women aren't even tied up. They just have their hands up against the fucking wall. Especially Janet, because Janet's supposed to be chained up like spread eagle up against a wall.
Yeah,
he just goes whoosh, whoosh, and then she just drops her hands because she wasn't even fucking chained up.
He runs over and he tells her, Janet. He tells Janet, "All right, now you go save Jimmy, because he's tied up somewhere."
Right,
and she's like, "Okay." She's wearing like a dress with her New York Ninja shirt over it, with like the cut, like the 80s cut where you do the shoulder thing missing or whatever, the sleeve. Oh my God. I was like, what is happening
Sleeveless gloves, yeah. And she has the most awkward, like I've never fought in my life fight with a goon. She's like, ha, who, he, and like, takes him out.
I did like Eye Patch though. That fight was good.
Poor man Snake Plissken.
Yeah, that's what he was definitely going for. Sweet stand kicks all over the place.
Yeah, because she meets up, because we got an establishing scene of Eye Patch, guy with an eye patch, obviously, wearing all leather, and he was just slapping women around and shit. And now he's like, I'm going to slap you around. And she gives him the poke in the eye, my eye! And he's only got one good eye. Even though we see the patch come off, we can see his the other eye. But it's a very awkward fight, but she takes care of business with Eye Patch.
So Jimmy somehow manages to get a van. He's probably trying to get away, and he was like, oh shit, those are the women I'm supposed to save.
And one of the women also had a horrible blonde. You could see her black hair poking out underneath it.
Oh my God.
It was the worst. I don't know why she's wearing a wig. Maybe she's so embarrassed to be in this movie.
Maybe.
But yeah, and they immediately, they run to a hobo fire.
Yeah.
They got free. They immediately run to a hobo fire to warm themselves. Jimmy's like, I got a van right here. And they hop in the van.
Okay, so now we got Randy, who she's been freed, so she's like running in the forest, because that's where this factory, the field, forest. And she's like, oh, there's Jack. Jack is just wandering through the field, because why not?
Yeah, Jack wearing the welder glasses and a little newsboy cap.
If they wanted to make this natural, he should have had his camera with him, because we know Jack always has his camera.
Well. And she's like, Jack, the ninja, it's over there. And then Jack grabs her.
Yeah.
Because he notices the ninja as well, obviously.
Right. And he's just like, I don't give a fuck about that ninja.
And they start struggling.
Yeah.
So Randy grabs the glasses, rips them off. Then
Oh
how did
God.
he know this?
Oh
because
my God.
Did he talk to Jimmy?
I have
how
no
did he
fucking
know the
clue.
main weakness of Plutonium Killer is light?
I have no fucking
He pulls a mirror out and starts shining it in his eyes, which causes him to rip his face off. He starts freaking out again and then rips his face off.
Amazing. And it actually was the plutonium killer.
Right.
It wasn't Jack. It was he.
So we see the actor rip off this rubber mask of Jack with a fucking horrible blonde wig on himself. Didn't match Jack's hair at all.
It wasn't even. He didn't have the welder's glasses on. He just had aviators on in this moment.
That's right.
Yeah. But yeah, he pops up with his little mirror. Oh my god, that was so silly. It's like they're in the middle of the. Never mind. It was so fun. It was an oh my god, never mind.
So now it's revealed that's the plutonium killer. So he pulls out a gun, grabs Randy, and leaps into his car. And Ninja takes off after him, gets a grappling.
This fucking scene where he gets the grappling hook on it, it makes no sense. Because he gets into an alley, Pluto, and yeah, I guess he's driving himself now. Yeah. And he stops, and he gives time for the New York Ninja to do some flips and shit around the alleyway. He goes over the hood, and then he sits there, and he thinks about it, and then finally, like literally, this is like 4 minutes of just sitting in the alley, and Pluto's Ninja's trying to figure out what the fuck am I going to do. Pulls out his grappling hook, which literally just looks like he took, the gardening
rake, yeah.
And tied a rope to it, and he throws it at the bumper as it's, keeling out.
Right, and like the actor literally was just on a piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
Being dragged by it. And then he pulls himself up, opens the
Amazing.
trunk.
Amazing. This scene, fantastic.
Opens the trunk, does a backflip into the trunk.
Maybe I'll get you a little clip of that. That was amazing.
Plutonium doesn't notice it. It doesn't look in his rear view, apparently. It doesn't check because he opens the trunk, pops into it.
It's too bright looking in that mirror.
So Plutonium, where does he go, Griff? When you're doing nefarious good things, you got to find the nearest place of water. And he goes to some docks that happen to have a helicopter hangar right next to him.
Yeah, I thought this was his own private thing. I didn't realize there was an establishing scene where his goons are already there. How his goons are, or maybe it was just random gangers.
New York is just fucking filled with goons.
Like, how does anybody have anything? Like, this is what the Republicans...
Thank God Giuliani cleaned that city up.
This is literally the hellscape that the conservatives try to push on people, is that this is what's happening. Well, maybe we can check about, what's it called? I can't even remember. My brain. Okay. I'm having a hard time. I've won too much money today, Murray. I just can't keep focused.
Yeah, you're gonna have trouble.
All right. So all the gangers have taken out like all the actual pilots and everything, and Pluto just runs right through.
Yeah, he's take care of that guy.
Yeah, he's got his. They like him for some reason. Maybe he works with them too. I don't get how he's got command over all the gangers of the city, but he rushes out the back door to where his private helicopter is waiting for him.
Right. And I like this scene because a goon dressed like the Invisible Man. He's got bandages around his face with sunglasses on. He's sitting on the rotor of a fucking helicopter
with an AK, and
he's like up here, and then fucking John whips out a fucking fan. And he's like, "What are you gonna do? Kill me with a fan?" And then we see these little spokes, these like blades in the fan, and he hurls them at the guy, hits him in the neck. Guy falls off the rotor, dies. So now he's taking care of all the goons. He threw some egg bombs. It's the usual thing. Now he's ready to get Plutonium Killer.
Pluto's trying to get up in the helicopter, and they're screaming, the gas tank's not full. Why we need to know this? Because it's not going to matter.
Because we needed a moment for Plutonium Man to get out of the thing. Apparently he was going to fucking put the gas in, apparently.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So he gets out, and then and he's wearing like a raincoat. He pulls his raincoat off because he's ready to fight fucking John.
Yeah.
So he's got the fucking retractable fucking Thundercat fucking blade.
Thundercat blade, yeah, that's
He does go Thundercat's hoe, and then the blade like extends.
Oh my god! There's one part of this fight I really enjoyed.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think you do. And the second part, I was like, that was the fucking worst. So okay, we're gonna go into a nice fight here. Apparently, Pluto. They lock up. And Pluto goes into his pocket for that pen knife or that pen blow dart thing,
right?
And he starts shooting, but they're like face to face, and they're trying to do this under like no room. Ninja manages to grab his fan. He's got a second one, and he fans it out, and he's blocking, and he turns it a little bit each time. Just it was fun.
And then Plutonium Man gets the drop on him and starts. He goes. He's like he wants that quickening, so he goes for the headshot, hits fucking John in the back of the neck, and he's like clunk.
Yeah,
and he does it again, clunk.
And
Clunk.
John just waits there. He could have gone for his head. But no, John just waits there. He's like, keep going, motherfucker. Because he's hitting his other sword.
Yeah, the hilt of his sword. And then he pulls it out. And then he like catches the tip of Plutonium Killer's sword with his sword and retracts the blade.
You make it sound like it was interesting.
No.
He holds the sword up, like he's got it pointed straight up, puts it behind, like his palm behind it to put force, and Pluto just runs at him straight with his sword out, and he just stops it because they lined it up so
Right.
perfectly, and then he just pushes 1, 2, 3, and you know this is the moment I
Yes,
loved.
exactly. This is perfect.
This was so weird because now he's got him blocked with just the hilt, Pluto, and he's like, what are you going to do? I'm immortal. You know this. And apparently he knows about the light thing, so he starts flicking at his sunglasses.
And doesn't flick the sunglasses off. That's what makes it so funny.
It was so good.
He's like, let me
Like,
try again.
I loved it. He's not willing to test if he's actually immortal after all and stab him in the heart. He's like, I got to get the glasses off. Oh, it's so good.
So I think he just pushes John away, gets back into the helicopter.
Yeah.
Takes off. John gets his grappling hook, hooks it onto the bottom of the thing. I bet this was really John, like, hanging from, because they take off. He's hanging from a fucking helicopter.
Yeah, I bet he did it.
Climbs up there. They're struggling. He opens the door.
He gets punched like 5 different times.
There is a, like, because we established that the pilot's being forced to fly it, but there's a nice little ad they do where he's like, I'll pay you anything you want. And then the guy starts helping fucking Pluto. He starts punching John.
Yes.
And then John gets knocked off, falls down, and then, like, hey, do you hear something?
Beep, 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 beep,
And
beep,
then,
beep, 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 beep.
boom, helicopter blows up. One last egg bomb. It was dynamite in a nest inside an egg.
And you're probably wondering, wait, they took off. How is the ninja going to survive this? They just show him grapple onto something on his way down,
Right.
and he's fine.
It's like Spider-Man.
yeah, it is. It is
you know,
100%
yeah.
Spider-Man logic.
And then the cops show up. Okay, we've established he's stopped. Crime is down 5,000%. Hey, now we got rid of the main bad guy. Let's arrest fucking New York Ninja.
Charles Bronson.
Right. They're all jealous. Jimmy is jealous of fucking New York Ninja because he's like, all right, come on down.
Well, they hear he eats Quiznos 5 nights a week, and he's still got that sweet body.
That's what Quiznos does to you. Does the body good.
That's right.
So he comes down. They arrest him. He just fucking rescued Jimmy, and Jimmy arrests him.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Well, they put him in cuffs. Sadly. Wait,
Yeah.
they didn't even put him in cuffs.
No, they put him in cuffs.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah. And they're time to take him in. And so then they're like in the fucking parking lot of the police station.
Yeah, or it was like the park, and all the other cops are like, "Let's figure out who this guy is." And Jimmy does do him a solid. He goes, "No, there's plenty of time for that later. Let's just go ahead, let him stay in his old gear. Let's not frisk him anything. Let's just wait a minute. It's a nice day. It's a good day to be outside." And then you hear like a chitter in the background. It's the kids.
Yeah, Shane and his gang. They're going to take over now that all the other gangs have been taken out. You know that's Shane's plan.
Is this going to open up room for the Bronx Warriors?
Shane is young trash.
Holy shit.
Ah.
So
So they do a solid to John, though, because they distract the cops. John's literally like, he does a take. He's like looking back and forth, and he just sinks down out of the camera.
Yeah,
and
that's good.
they're like, what the fuck happened? The New York Ninja got away. And then Janet and Jimmy look at each other, and they go, what are you going to do? You know, he
Yeah.
got away. So now, John, when he's not killing people, he's on his roof.
Yep. That's where he belongs.
Randy runs in. John, you're not going to believe it. The New York Ninja stopped everybody. Your wife's killer has been killed, I guess.
Yeah. Your wife's been avenged.
And he's like, now we can fuck. And he hugs her and is like, oh, really? And he winks at the camera. And
Yeah.
and then we get a little thing, L.A. Ninja coming soon, which of course will never happen. But
L.A. Ninja.
maybe it will. Maybe the success of this movie will make John Luke come out of the
I wish.
jungle and be like, yeah, I'm 70 now, but I'm gonna fucking do New York Ninja or L.A. Ninja.
Oh, man. They could use the other 2 hours of footage to somehow make it look like L.A. Just for... never mind.
All right,
Fucking good.
There you have
It's
it,
good
man.
shit. It's good job. Good shit, everybody.
So the verdict is, yes, you can make an 80s style action movie today, but you got to work really hard at it.
yeah. I mean,
You got to leave your irony at the door. You got to
yeah.
go, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to laugh at this movie. We're going to laugh with this movie.
it was such a treat. It sucks that there's... I mean, maybe there's a lot more movies out there, but, now there's going to be copycats on this movie. I don't know. It was it's such a
I
nice
don't
to
want.
have
I
one
don't
of
want. The way to do it wrong, hobo with a shotgun.
these. Yeah.
That's how you do it wrong, people.
Didn't like that one.
Broke my heart. Rucker Hauer wasted in that because they.
That was Rucker.
Yeah, I didn't like it because it was too much winking at the camera.
Oh, that sucks.
Only winking camera I want to see is the very end of New York Ninja where he winks and says,
Yeah. That's the time for the wink, though.
exactly at the end.
At the end.
So yeah, you did for Vinegar Syndrome. You did a good job, guys.
I agree. 100%.
Next time, send us some free shit.
Send us that free shit.
Well, even review 70s porn. As long as it's free.
I
my
mean,
God, Griff. Fucking... It gets better. You think we could just stop right now and just take the rest of the year off? Our amazing holiday tribute we're doing this year. But we got a lot of shit happening next week. Have we ever done a Nicolas Cage movie?
I don't think so.
Well, we're doing one next week, Griff. Because we're doing Nicolas Cage and John Travolta in a John Woo production, Face Off. Going to the 90s. I'm kind of regretting this, Griff, because I saw the runtime. I was like, this is 1 minute longer than Dune?
Yeah.
90s, come on. This is...
They got high on their own supplies.
Yeah,
because
John Woo had to have fucking half an hour of doves flying, fucking everywhere.
So,
but we're gonna do it anyway because it is a fun. I've only seen this movie once. It's out in the theaters. I haven't seen it since. I remember nothing. I mean, obviously, I remember the premise.
Yeah,
but I remember nothing about this movie. So it'll be an enjoyable, new experience for me.
I think we'll have some fun with it, but we're gonna find some parts to save some time because 2 hours of fucking action movie.
Yeah, you can't do that, guys.
Just can't do it.
But not only that, next week we're having a very special tippy tap with a very special guest.
Ooh.
It's everybody's favorite guest, Jack Baudelaire. Makes his comeback, and he's going to be talking about a TV show that was very important to his childhood. I won't reveal that yet.
Yeah.
But tune in. That'll be on Sunday. A couple days. Tune in for that, and then next week, check us out. John Woo's Face Off. See you next week. Keep it warm.